Today, the episode will take us around the globe all the way to India, which, by the way, one of my favorite countries in the world.
India has come to a really good place whereby there's enough brands and enough creators to have that healthy conversation. It's becoming an economy.
We don't have TikTok, and there was a point of time when we did, and a lot of people's careers were disrupted by it. But I don't think of that as a big delay in the whole process.
As we work with so many influencers, we know that 11.5% of engagement rate is just something, is a phenomenal.
Everyone loves Bollywood.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Influencer Marketing Uncover podcast powered by MG Empower. MG Empower, if you don't know, is a fully integrated marketing powerhouse. And I am Mara Genovese, the founder and president of MG Empower. And today the episode will take us around the globe all the way to India, which, by the way, one of my favorite countries in the world. India, as you all know, is the second biggest online market in the world, and it has recently just surpassed China as the most populated country in the world, believe it or not. The country is also one of the most vibrant entertainment poles and a bubbling hub for innovation and entrepreneurship. As the eyes of the world focus on India, so do ours. And our guest today is the young star content creator Anahita, maybe I got it wrong, Anahita Karanjiia, who is joining us all the way from Mumbai, which is a place that I love so much and I miss Mumbai. I need to go back. And she will talk to us today about the influence industry in India versus Europe versus USA. We are very excited about it. And today I have my very dearest friend and someone that I met actually doing a podcast. So Siang, welcome as my co-host. So nice to
Very
have you
happy
here.
to be here. The dream team is back.
Yes.
The dream team is back. So thank you, Myra. Such a pleasure to be doing this again. It's deja vu all over again. But I'm very, very excited. We are very, very excited. You can feel it in the room because we're going to India with Anahita. Welcome, Anahita.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for the introduction, Myra, Siang. Am I saying it right? Myra.
You got it. You got it.
You got it.
And Siang. Really a pleasure being here.
Amazing. I need to get your name correctly. So let's prep that. Anahita. I got it. Anahita. I love India. I had the most amazing experience. I think it was 2018. I went to Mumbai first, and I went with an amazing client of ours. At the time, we were working with them on a project in India. We went to do a research all around creators and the influencer marketing industry in India. And then I went also to New Delhi, and it was so transformative for me, the whole experience. And today to have you here that's representing India, one of the dearest countries, and a country that is, as I said, is changed me so much inside out. And you are the first person that we are actually having as a guest from India. So it's very special for us. So thank you so much again for being here. Amazing. But, I wanted to start asking you, you are an incredible content creator. There's no doubt about that. Your engagement rate is skyrocket. Like you have 11.5 of engagement rate. And this is so unique. And it's just like, it's a huge number. As we work with so many influencers, we know that, 11.5% of engagement rate is just something, is a phenomenal. And your dances, like we can see that, you're focused on your content all around movement and dance and music.
Having fun.
Clean
moves, fun grooves.
And it sounds so authentic and so natural. Tell us a little bit about that element of you creating content around dance, movement, and music. How that started, and when did you find, okay, that's the direction I'm gonna go, And yes, they were very curious about it. Just starting with your content creation.
Yes. So actually, I'm a dancer. I used to dance for fun, and it's been a while. It never really occurred to me to take this as a career choice because influencer marketing and this entire industry is still very new, especially in India. Where I'm talking about like 3, 4 years back, it wasn't this popular. So what happened to me was COVID. The whole pandemic had started. The nation was under lockdown, and I was at home getting bored. So I said, I've been dancing all my life. Why not, like maybe do a video and put it up, because my friends had been telling me for so long, and I was like, what's the harm? Let's just do it. So that kind of happened, and it wasn't of the intention to become a content creator at first. It was just, I'm having fun doing this. Maybe it'll make someone else's day by watching my video. Maybe they'll feel better. Maybe they'll want to do my dance, and, that'll be their escape from their day. So that's how it all actually started for me. And moving on, it's been around 2 years since I've been doing this, and I just took it as it came. With one, I started learning. I'm like, oh my god, there's so much scope here. There's actually a potential to make a living and have an entire career based on this. So that's when it kind of hit me that I can actually do this for a living, and that's how I got here, and that's why I'm sitting here today.
That's amazing. Anahita, like, I guess like the best things in life always don't happen according to your plan, right? Right? I
Exactly.
speak for everyone. But I guess like in your journey in becoming a content creator until today, do you remember vividly what was those like pivotal moments when you're like, oh, I can actually do this for as a career? Or like was there a video that went viral, or like someone commented? Would love to hear your experience. Yeah.
Yeah, so actually, I don't think there was one particular moment, but there have been 2, 3 instances where I've been like, oh my God, have I made it? Like, is this it?
That is amazing.
Tell us what those
What
moments
these
are.
moments
Tell
are.
us.
I was on the verge of getting signed with an agency. This was maybe 2, 3 months around when I had started, and a couple of agencies were reaching out, and I didn't know if I wanted to because I thought it would be tying me down. So
Mm.
at that time, I got a DM from someone who was supposed to be a manager of some person, but they made a mistake in the name of the person. So I had ignored the message. And then
Wow.
after a month or so, they reached out to that agency saying, we're trying to reach out to her, but she's not responding because he had misspelled the name, and I thought, this is some random person. It turns out one of the I'm not sure if you know, but they're an Indian artist. His name is Ritviz. So they had reached out to me to maybe make a trend on one of his new dances. And that was something very new
Wow.
to me because I was the one who, I never thought about that in the first place. So when that happened, I, spent a day, I choreographed something, and it kind of went viral. So it actually happened because there's a lot of pressure there, there are so many aspects. You may love a video, but it just won't do well. So what if I have put in my 100% and I don't deliver? And it's possible that it's not my fault. There are times when you just get unlucky with the content, and it's happened with me. So yeah, that happened, and I actually ended up doing like a remix, a kind of a collaboration post with the artist himself. And that's when I was like, you know what, I should just have faith in myself. It will work out. And then there have been times where I've just danced and like put something out there, and then I've not 10, 15, but like I've seen hundreds of people copy that routine, and that kind of makes you also feel better on a bad day that like you've got this. So there are like 2, 3 moments like these which make me feel like push through on the bad days because it's worth it.
I'm dying to know what that song is and what that dance is. There a name to that song and dance for our listener and also for myself to look it up later on?
Yes. The one that you did the first one with
Yes.
the artist.
So that's called Ari Ari. It's a song by Ritviz. I'll send you the link.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Amazing.
Send them
Maybe in
over.
the end of our episode, you're gonna have to dance.
Oh my god, that's
That is like, and tell me like about like, is it, like India, the landscape of creators, influencers is huge. And as I said on the beginning of the podcast, in terms of population, India now has surpassed China, which is incredible and mind blowing. So tell us a little bit about, now that you are in the market, you are acting as an influencer, as a creator of content. How is the landscape? So how do you work with other creators? Because one thing that I noticed on your content, you always have a friend. The majority of your video always have someone doing with you. So tell me more about, are they creators or they are friends? How do you engage with other influencers? Just as a curiosity, because when I went to India, I've met so many creators. And then I felt that, then there was my perception at the time, that you guys work really well together. Although there's so many, I didn't feel any competition in there, which is very different from other markets like US and even Western. So I felt that there is an integration in India between creators and the willing of collaborate together. So tell us a little bit about that, because I noticed you have a lot of content that includes other creators.
Yes, you're right. So actually, I do believe that I do like doing a lot of collaborations. I feel like it brings out a different aspect altogether. So the agency I'm signed with, they have a roster. So we've kind of we've become friends. I mean, we met because of work. Because they thought, it would be better if two great dancers come together and, make a video, according to the agency. But then we ended up actually becoming friends. And then
like us, like us, like us. Like us as well. We met for work and then you just become friends. Those are the kind of best professional
relationship,
Yeah.
indeed.
that a brand has specifically asked, actually not just one, two, three brands had asked us to make videos together, like, paid partnerships, brand campaigns with A and B, because we think, it brings out a different dimension. I mean, it's a different thing than just me dancing or just her dancing. So it kind of works also. And when it comes to competition, because I think we are managed by the same agency, I don't think they I don't think that hostility will ever be there, or is there for that matter, because we know that, we are friends first, and we know our capabilities, and we know that, if there have been times where, say A gets a deal and B doesn't, but then there is also a time where A doesn't get a deal and B does. So there's that understanding, and I don't think the thought of competition even crosses our minds. So especially with
That's
this, in this
amazing.
tight knit talent or management company that I am. So I think that's a really
Anahita, we have to say, like, as fellow talent managers ourselves, so Myra comes from a rich background of managing some of the top talents in Brazil. I actually lead MG Talent under MG Empower, which we oversee a global roster of talent. I think that spirit of collaboration and knowing your own worth is something that we really advocate for. And it's so refreshing to also hear that that's happening in India as well. So,
Very inspiring.
yeah.
Very inspiring. Tell me, like, just moving a little bit from like social channels now, because we're discussing early, me and Siang here, the fact that TikTok is not available
Yeah.
in India, right? So Instagram is the second social channel in India. That's, it's WhatsApp first. Tell us if you're right or wrong, and then secondly is WhatsApp, Instagram. But you guys they weren't allowed to use TikTok. And when we were debriefing here with Siang and the rest of the team, we were thinking, but how do they keep up with the trend, right? Because TikTok, universal now, as it stands, they are the platform that create the trends first, and then other creators go and get the trend and apply that on Facebook, on Instagram, and other social channels. if your guys are not allowed to use, how do you keep up with the trend, especially coming from the Western and from the USA?
That's a good question. What I would say is that we don't have TikTok, and there was a point of time when we did, and a lot of people's careers were, disrupted by it. But at this point of time, I think we are by default slightly late to the whole trend. This thing when it comes, because we don't have TikTok, but we do follow these. I mean, I for one follow a couple of a lot of dancers uh, overseas, so then when they post stuff on Instagram, we do see it. And I know we might be slightly late because we don't have TikTok, but I don't think of that as a big delay in the whole process.
Got it. So I guess my question would be, like, I'm interested to know India's connection to the world, right? Like yourself, you mentioned you do follow some of the dance creators overseas, and the trends do somehow still get into India. So like, how do yourself and also I guess like your fellow peers, fellow creators keep up with like the trends, especially on social platforms?
So I think it would just be us following these creators. I mean, that's for me, because I, for one, wanted to not just do trends. So my idea when it comes to posting is not just looking for, trying to. I wanted to create something of my own. So trends come slightly secondary for me, which is why I don't pay so much attention on if I'm late to
Interesting.
a trend. But I try to focus on my own choreographies, on my own routines. And of course, if there's a trend, I try to somehow change a step or make it my own, so that, that individuality I feel is very important.
100%. Very interesting. And then what, because like, and I love what you said, that despite of not having TikTok, you still are able to follow the trend, and then there's no impact into the market of India that you're not up to date with the current trend from the West and in the US. That was something that always come into my mind. Is that something that impact then on actually be ahead, or because they are just getting the trends later, is that an impact on brands who wanted to collaborate it with you? But for what you're saying, that is not an issue. That's
I think, and I know, I mean, in my limited understanding, I don't think it's that much of uh, an issue.
and tell me about like the brand's demand in India to collaborate with creators, because here in Western and in the West and even in South America especially as well, so working with influencers, it's became a core of every brand marketing strategy. So when I look at back 5 years ago when we started MG Power, so influencer marketing investment for brands, they will look as an add-on, right? So it's an add-on of their full marketing plan. But now it's completely the opposite. So influencer market is a core. Like when brands are prepping their marketing strategy for the quarter, for the year, so influencer marketing is always there. So there is a demand here, and I guess it's the same in India. So just wanted to understand more that, how do you collaborate with the brands? What are the demand that you have from the brands? What are the type of contents that brands in India they are more focused on? I would believe it is more short video content, but it just to give us that overview of the market when it comes to brands activation.
Definitely. So I do believe that I totally agree with you when it comes to brands having actually considering having them consider influencer marketing as a core aspect in their marketing strategy, and not just an add-on. I totally agree with that, and I've personally seen that, I feel, because it is still growing and it's continuing to grow. When it comes to collaborating with brands, I mean, there used to be a time when they would just send a script. This is what we want to do. This is what you should do. Like A, B, C, D. Just follow it and do it. But now what's happening is that the creator, the manager, the brand, the agency, all of them get on a call, discuss, what this is a creator, she's got here, he's got here through something. How is he doing that? And how can we leverage our product using their expertise? So then, for example, because I'm a dancer, if I were to integrate a brand, and they said, just pose with it, just post a picture with the product. I have said no, because I feel like that is not the best way for me to advertise a brand.
Mm.
So right now there has been a lot of collaboration when it comes to that. Of course, it's not at 100%, and depends from brand to brand. Some brands are very specific in what they want, and I feel the best are the ones which allow this sort of brainstorming, this thinking together,
Mhm.
which the brand says no, ABC is a must, the creator says no, ABC is a must, and they come to some sort of middle ground. And that's when I feel you get the perfect collaboration, and that's when you really convert that audience, because the content creator knows their audience. So that's what I feel we're getting to that. I mean, it's not 100% of what we do over here still, but I feel like this is where we're going.
I also think that's like a sign of a very healthy growth in the
Absolutely.
market, right? I think when influencer marketing was starting in East Asia, where I'm from, in the US, in the UK, in Europe, where we're based at, um, I guess like at the beginning stages when there's only a few brands investing, creators are just coming up.
Yep.
You get that little clash, that ABC. But I also think the fact that I'm hearing this from you, Anahita, is that it feels like India has come to a really good place whereby there's enough brands and enough creators to have that healthy conversation. It's becoming an economy. We
Yeah.
use the word economy here. And I guess like for a lot of listeners of our podcast, like myself, who haven't been to India, we would love to hear like what are the brands out there that are really heavily investing in influencer marketing. What are sort of the projects that yourself are working on that you always get sort of like requests from, because it will give us a very good landscape of what's happening
What's
in
happening in
India.
India?
Yeah,
And just to add it in what Siang said, I think what you're just giving that information to us, it goes to the point of the co-creation, right? So
exactly.
co-creation between creators and brands, it's not the future, it's the present. I think if brands wanted to continue to leverage from the power of your voices, there is need to have that co-creation element that you just described it here, where there is a briefing, but there is also you have to be true to the type of content you created. That not necessarily have to get the briefing and just post with, because I myself cannot see you with a photo holding a product, because it's not going to be as authentic. And I think when you say that there is a an element of be able to co-create the content, and it's when we go back to the authenticity, what
Yeah,
our
exactly.
nowadays is what the consumers are craving. They are craving content that are authentic, they're genuine, and they're still true to yourself. So I love to hear that India is already on that movement of the with the mindset of like, let's go create this content together, because that's, for me, it's so important nowadays.
Because if that
Which
doesn't
is
end up happening, then and if the creator just ends up saying yes, then what will happen is we will just the engagement won't be optimal, the audience conversion will not be optimal, so it won't be good
Excellent.
for either. So I totally agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Anahita, yeah, and like what sort of brands have you been working on? Like share with us so that we can look out for it. Yeah.
So, off the top of my head, recently I worked with Maybelline. I worked with
Great.
L'Oreal. That's the managing. And if I have to give an example of a really good influencer-led campaign, there is this brand. Sorry, there is this brand called the Soul Store. So what they did was they had 5 6 Gen Z influencers picked out, and they ran a whole shoot and a whole campaign, and a full long form association with the brand. And this is an Indian brand. So what we saw was that instead of them reaching out to actors, which they do anyway in some case, they also picked content creators. Now, we
Mm.
ended up doing what an actor would have usually done. And that's when it kind of struck us that the reason this is happening, I mean, I was also talking to my agency that, why are we the ones doing these kind of shoots? Because, we shoot for our page and, we upload it on our page. Why are we doing shoots for other brands? And that's
Mm-hmm.
when, he said that there's this sort of relatability that your audience will relate really, really strongly with you, rather than because they see you on a daily basis, they see what you wake up to, so they feel a connection with you they might not feel with an actor, or a big actor. So that's when it struck me that influencer marketing is not just it may even get to that level where we end up representing brands. So
Mm-hmm.
that the Soul Store was one of these brands. I've also done brand deals with Coca-Cola, and yeah, a lot of music labels as well, because I dance mainly, and we promote
Makes
music. So
sense.
if
Yep, yep. We're
If
gonna
I,
talk about Bollywood. Everyone out
yeah,
there, we will talk about Bollywood.
exactly. And
Yeah.
I think let's jump into the ball, because
Let's do it. Let's
you
do
just
it.
said something now that, like, oh, there's the celebrities and like influencers. And when I went to India, the first thing I asked a creator was, tell me the difference between Bollywood actors, influencers, creators, actors, because I know there is a differentiation on how you describe each of, how do I can call, like, the names of the creators. But I wanted you to tell us about the landscape of Bollywood versus influencers, very actors versus musicians, for our audience, because I know there's a lot of curiosity on understanding what are the difference between all of you in terms of, if it's a Bollywood, if she's an influencer as well, or if it's a Bollywood, it's just mean that the person that they are an actress. Just tell us more about it.
For sure. So, according to me, Bollywood actors are your mainstream, Salman Khan, Alia Bhatt. I'm not sure if you've heard of their names.
Oh, love Salman
Oh my
Khan. Love Salman
god.
Khan. The three Khans. Come on, come on.
Yes, but so there's that whole Bollywood industry, and they've kind of made their mark there. They also do, brand endorsements, product endorsements. But when it comes to influencers, it's basically people who create content just on these social media platforms for us. However, now recently there has that line between an influencer and an actor. It's getting a little blurry. There are a lot of influencers who are getting into Bollywood and literally featuring in movies and the
Interesting. Okay.
Amazon Prime and Netflix.
So there's a crossover now, like from both sides, yeah?
100%. And there are so many actors who anyway would be doing brand endorsements, brand campaigns, promotions. So now maybe, and that's where I see it going, the lines are going to get a little blurry, because the Bollywood industry has also started to understand what kind of a following and an impact social media creators can have, and so they're bringing in their own particular audience. Of course, Bollywood doesn't need any more clout. Everyone loves Bollywood. So that's not something I should even mention. But there were two different industries, but I do see them merging maybe somewhere down the line.
So Anahita, I have a question. When's your Bollywood movie coming out then? Like, in all seriousness, have you started to maybe receive requests from, you did a song for a really famous artist, and do you see are your fellow peers or even yourself getting requests to choreograph or even dance in a Bollywood movie?
That is an ambition of yours?
Yeah.
That would be something you would be willing to?
So actually, I do really, I mean, enjoy thinking about this whole situation. But the thing is, I am in 2 months. I'm going to be pursuing my MBA. So
Oh, congratulations.
Amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So as of now, I have been getting requests, but I haven't been able to pursue them because I'm going to be studying for 1 year straight. But as a matter of fact, there have been a lot of audition inquiries, even ad inquiries. So yes, I do see that increasing. And a while back, I think around 3, 4 years back, I did. I did help choreograph a Bollywood song, and at that point of time. The
You see, it's coming. It's
Wow,
coming.
wow.
Yes, it was actually a great experience, and I actually ended up teaching Karthik Aryan and Kriti Sanon, who are, I'm not sure if you've heard of them. They're Bollywood actors and actresses, but it was a great experience. And there was also a point of time where I was assisting for this other film, but the person who was supposed to do it didn't end up doing it, and I ended up doing it. So I have had my fair share of presence on set and shoots, and I've also done this kind of act with Amir Khan. It was just around 10 seconds, but still. So yes, I mean, completely agree with your point that there is a chance that I may, diverge into that someday, maybe. I mean, I don't know, taking it as it comes, because that's how it happened. And
That's we will watch for this
Oh,
moment.
I want tickets.
Yes.
I want tickets. Yeah.
And where are you doing your MBA? Is in India or you're going abroad?
yes, so I'm actually pursuing it in India, from the Indian School of Business. So
Wonderful.
yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Congratulations. That's amazing. Tell me a little bit about like the demand from the Western and the US and the rest of the world on working with influencers in India. Do you have a demand coming? Because we saw that you're in London recently. So you came to London to visit, or you came to London to pursue opportunities as a creator, or just I really like interesting to understand, like, because there is there's a lot of brands willing to go to India, right? So one of our clients at the time when I went to India, I went with them because we wanted to do a market research to understand how we will enter the market, because it's a different word, right? So when you say about influencers, you say, oh, influencers, they're all the same all around the world, but actually it's not true. So you need to actually go to each market, understand the cultural nuances of each market, right? And in India, it's very diverse when it comes to culture. So tell us about like you being requested to work with brands that are not necessarily in India yet, or the other way around. Brands that are trying to get in India, do they actually come to you guys to understand what's the best way of cracking in the market? What's the best approach? Just to get the link, international link between the rest of the world and India.
I totally understand your question. So, to answer the first part of it, if there have been any brands from India, that wanted, when I went to travel, when I came to London, it was actually just for fun. I came down to meet my friends, but coincidentally, I was already locked for this one campaign, and the brand found out that she's traveling, so they were like, you know what, don't shoot. When you go there, shoot there. So they were really happy.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were happy about the fact that I would be shooting in their clothes. It was Shopper Stop, that was the name of the brand, but they were glad that it was on the streets of London and not just in India. So there is that little exposure, that international sort of um, exposure that the brand also gets. And as a matter of fact, I hadn't really heard of this brand called Espa. It's a skincare brand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're huge.
they're
Yeah.
huge.
Maybe, and in India, I hadn't really, you don't get their products at every mom and pop shop like down the road. So when they had reached out, I realized, oh, this is this brand isn't from here. But I believe that I was able to. We only ended up doing a couple of stories, but that still reached an audience that might have never even heard of the brand's name, because even I had.
100%.
Yeah.
So I feel like it definitely is there, that cross connection. It exists, and I feel like it should exist even more, because that is how the audiences will actually get to know the products.
Yeah. And I have to say, like, just globally, India has always been the top 5 in almost any creators
100%.
follower demographic and audience. Is such a social country. It's in your DNA, and I think just naturally, like, because it's such a social, that social nature of the country and the citizens. And that just means you're also kind of a global citizen like yourself, Anahita. Like the fact that you're born and raised in India, but you're also traveling the world. You're incorporating, the world into your
100%.
content. And I think a lot of brands should look into, that nature, that social nature of like India as a market, to really kind of tap into the country. And I think that's the beauty of social media these days, right? It doesn't matter where you are.
Where you are, you can
You know,
always learn something.
Yeah, that like we're all connected, we're all the same, but we're all united, but we're also different in our own little way. So I think that's the beauty
of it. That's the beauty of it.
it.
And talking about the beauty of it, of influencer marketing, tell us, if India has to tell us like a few lessons to the influencer marketing industry, what India can pass to the rest of the world, what would you say?
I'm making notes now. Yeah.
I don't really know if there are any, short points, because I feel we've also learned so much from the Western culture. But what I feel,
I love your answer already.
yeah, I feel like it's not what we've learned from here and there. It's just a collaboration. I mean, it's just one thing that we've picked up from the Western culture. And if what Indians in general do a lot is that they tend to ask for reviews a lot. So that is one thing that now you see brands abroad also talk about reviewing products. So I mean, when it comes to history, I don't think I'm the best person to ask this question, but I totally believe that it's not something, it's not a pinpointed thing that you learn. It's just working together that makes you learn things from one another.
By the way, the best answer that you could potentially have giving us, and I love the fact that you say there's no lesson that they can learn from us, because we all need to learn from each other and leverage for each other's experience in different cultures. And that's the beauty of the diversity of the world, right? It's not to say that one country is better than the other, one is doing better than the other, but how can we learn with each other? And in an industry like influencer marketing, an industry like, the creative economy, it's not going anywhere, right? So it's just only going to continue to grow and grow and grow. But how can we continue to see as an industry that we are collaboratives, that we're working together, we're using our voices, your voices, using your dance as a format of engagement to make people happy, to make people, excited about going to social media. And how can you use your voices to inspire the rest of the world and be more collaborative with other creators that is not just in India, but around the globe.
And Anahita, one thing you brought up that I think we both really, really resonate with, and I think a lot of our listeners do as well, relatability of creators on social media platform is such a big, like,
thing,
big foundation of this whole economy. And I think if you understand that as a brand, as a consumer, as a creator, you unlock the key of a successful partnership, collaboration, co-creation. I thought that was a key lesson that I take away myself.
100%.
Yeah.
And I could not agree more. And you're so young. How old are you again?
I'm 23.
23 is young. Can you imagine how far this incredible lady can go? My team here is saying it's time to stop talking, Mara and Siang. But I like, one of the things I love about podcasts is to talk, because there's so much more that we can continue to discuss and learn from you. But we will have to wrap up. So Siang,
it's been a pleasure. It always has. Anahita, thank you so much for sharing your own experience. I feel your humility of, like, your judge of sharing your
100%.
journey. And please, everyone, please follow Anahita on her social media platform, on Instagram.
And follow her dance. And
follow her
moves.
dance. It's tough,
Yes.
guys. Like, I'm going to tell you, I tried earlier. It's not easy at all.
Anahita, what a pleasure, and I feel very honored and grateful to have someone all the way to India to come to speak with us. And I'm sure our audience has enjoyed our conversation and get to know more of you and learn from you. And please let us know next time you're in London, because then you can come back to the studio and we can do that, in person. Part two. And we are always here for you. It's been a pleasure. And thank you, Tajas. I know Tajas that work for us at MG Power. He's in India. He's with you. So he's a great, employees of MG Power. And I think, Tajas, that the introduction to you, to us.
Hello.
Hey, Taja, our special guest today with. So Tajas, thank you so much, for bringing
much
this
for
wonderful lady to talk to us today. So it's been a pleasure, and hope everyone enjoyed. Siang, thank you so much.
And India will be there very soon.
India
will be there very soon. Stay tuned.
And if you want a talent representation outside of India, don't tell your agency, but talk to this guy.
Mira and Siang, it's been an absolute pleasure. I mean, as much as I love talking, I've learned so much from you both as well. So it's been a great experience. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. And for everyone that's been here today with us, hope you enjoyed this incredible conversation. And as Young said, please make sure to follow this young lady, incredible, with an engagement rate of 11.5%, which I still cannot believe it, which is amazing. Learn from her dance, from her movement, and for how humble she is after this conversation. So you deserve all the success. Hope everyone has enjoyed. And if you're not following us yet on social media, please make sure to do so on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, and Amazon. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you have enjoyed. And I see you all in the next episode. And thank you again, Siang.
All right, Dream Team. Bye.
Thank you.